Healaflow, the injectable, highly cross-linked hyaluronic acid implant, was developed by Anteis, a Swiss company based in Geneva, to improve results of anti-glaucoma filtration surgery. Anteis is one of the foremost worldwide leaders specialized in the development, manufacturing, and distribution of innovative injectable medical devices based on biopolymer transformation. The R&D teams at Anteis developed a unique manufacturing process, creating the first injectable implant, making the gel itself particularly easy to use. Healaflow is a monophasic gel of non-animal origin and administered in a 0.6 mm pre-filled glass syringe. Compared to those currently used in cataract surgery, Healaflow is a considerably cross-linked hyaluronic acid-based implant. Its cross-linked composition gives it a long-lasting durability, up to 6 months, within the surgical site, repeatedly checked in a non-invasive manner using a UBM. And because of its long-lasting durability, Healaflow, positioned between the tissue, thus lends itself to better filtration. Its anti-inflammatory, cohesive, and efficient filtering characteristics help create a filtration bleb that is at once flat, well-diffused, and homogeneous. This innovative implant, which has now been regularly used in penetrating and non-penetrating filtration surgeries for a year, has dramatically improved surgical results. This implant is very promising. It allows you to perfectly obtain diffused filtration blebs at a pressure from 11 to 12 millimeters of mercury. 3 surgeons comment on the major characteristics of this implant and tell us about their own experiences using Healaflow over the past year. I currently use it every time I perform an operation because I feel like this substance or implant affords me the possibility to lessen post-operative fibrosis and itself acts as a cavity space filler. In my opinion, Healaflow is a product that has enormous potential in glaucoma surgery, whether it's used penetrating or non-penetrating. Its principal purpose is to avoid the sticking of the 2 scleral layers and to avoid any sticking between the sclera and the conjunctiva in the superficial part, which allows for a better, well-distributed filtration bleb in general, something you barely see with a slit lamp. Healaflow, when injected between the tissue, and because of its cohesive properties, maintains a long-term subconjunctival scleral lake. Composed of 95% water, Healaflow's cross-linked matrix allows for the creation of a stable and long-lasting filtration bleb, favoring efficient drainage over total resorption of the product. The implant seems to stay for a fairly long time within the interior of the sclera. It's an implant basically composed of cross-linked hyaluronic acid, with the advantage of lasting longer, as opposed to a simpler, high molecular weight viscoelastic. Healaflow is an implant or substance that stays in place longer and biomicroscopically can be observed under the conjunctiva, but also with a UBM it can be observed for weeks on end, even months after the operation in the intrascleral cavity. The anti-inflammatory characteristics of Healaflow enable a flat, diffuse, and homogeneous filtration bleb and limit the proliferation of fibrous tissue. The surgical site is notably uneventful the first few days following operation.
Le Healaflow donne
Healaflow has an advantage during penetrating or non-penetrating surgery, when there's hemorrhaging at the surgical site. Due to its strong, cohesive character, it blocks active hemorrhaging, and once the operation's finished, when you place or inject the Healaflow under the conjunctiva, the blood can be held back in such a way as to greatly diminish post-operative inflammation. The injectable property of Healaflow represents the latest evolution which stabilizes the intrascleral and subconjunctival spaces, optimizing the filtration bleb during glaucoma surgery.
It's very easy to use this injectable with a normal syringe, and you can inject the quantity you want, so that means very little underneath the scleral flap, but quite an amount between 0.1 and 0.2 mils underneath the conjunctiva.
I don't use other implants and feel that Healaflow could replace certain other implants used in non-penetrating surgery, notably in deep sclerectomies. Hyaluronic acid has been used in ophthalmic surgery for the last 30 years, its non-toxicity being well known in the ocular surgery field.